What's up, YouTube? Jesse here. I've been away for a while, just busy with life and kid stuff, but you guys can probably see a new interior here. I didn't get a new car, but we got my wife a new car. It's a 2018 Q7. Wanted to do a video on it. And so we had a 2016 XC90. It was actually a great car, did have some reliability, mostly software issues. I had an opportunity to sell it. We ended up ordering this car, so it was a custom order. Took 4 months to get, but we got exactly what we wanted, which is great. We've never ordered a car before, and I think it looks fantastic, and we got everything we wanted. So let me go through what options we got. And before I do that, pretty much the video, I'm going to do it like on my 2016 S7. I think I can do it a lot quicker than that video, but I'm going to talk about the car, what I like, what I don't like, after having it for about, we've had it since November. So, you know, we've 3 months, or maybe not November, probably, yeah, maybe beginning of November, but it's 4 months of ownership. You know, what I like, what I don't like, and the modifications that I've done so far. It's not going to be as extensive as the S7, how much money I've dumped into that thing, but I have done some stuff, and I think it looks great. So that, and then also maybe, since a lot of people cross shop the Q7 and the XC90, you know, maybe I can do some comparisons on that. Maybe that's another video. I'll kind of play it by ear. But so this is a 2018 Q7. This is the Prestige trim. I didn't look at it, you know, any models lower than that, like the Premium or the Premium Plus, just because, you know, there are certain options that I want that weren't available in that trim. So did Glacier White with the black Optic package, the driver assistance package, the luxury package, and the adaptive chassis package. So real quick, I think I'll give you my take on all of those packages. The only thing this thing doesn't have is the Bang & Olufsen and the night vision. So night vision is cool for like a minute when you show people. It's like a showpiece. You can show them, hey, look, this is cool, but never use it. I don't live in the back country. I live on the coast. So no night vision. The Bang & Olufsen, it's like, God, it's just so dang expensive. And I didn't get it on my other car. And it definitely sounds way better than the Bose, but you know, it's $5,000. And you pay $1,000 for the Bose in the Prestige. So to me, it's really like $6,000. So I stiffed on that. So those are the only two packages it doesn't have. The black Optic, in my opinion, must have. Some people like the chrome. Me, however, I do not. I think this, especially on this Glacier White with the black Optic, looks awesome. So have to do black Optic, in my opinion. And then the adaptive chassis package, that comes with four-way steering and air suspension. And I love cars with air suspension because you can lift it, you can lower it, and it just makes the car look so sick when, especially if you put wheels on it. We drive up to Mammoth. It's a mountain. We go skiing or snowboarding all the time. You know, if I got a snowbank, something little I got to go over, I can jack up the suspension in the off-road mode. It's so nice in that regard. You can, you know, it gives you a lot of adjustability. So I wanted it just for that, but I have to say the four-way steering or four-wheel steering is amazing. Like, it gives this car the turning radius of an A4. So when I'm making a U-turn somewhere or I'm turning into a spot, it just cuts in there. So to me, it is $4,000, but to me that package was a must as well. Prestige, you know, obviously that I wanted that because it came with all the other stuff that comes in the Prestige. That was a no-brainer. Driver assistance, my wife doesn't really use that much, to be honest. I use it. I like the radar cruise control and all that other stuff, but we could have probably gotten away with not having that because it's primarily her car. But when I drive it, I use that stuff. But she doesn't. She doesn't trust it. She doesn't want to do that kind of stuff. Last one, the luxury package. So it's pretty expensive. Not gonna lie. The luxury package is pretty expensive, but this cedar interior is the only color you can only get this color on the luxury. The luxury package also gives you the Alcantara throughout, which it's a showstopper. It looks so good with the Alcantara, and it just makes the interior really pop. It also does give you massage seats on long drives. I do use those massage seats. They're quite nice. There's a ton of functionality there. And the only thing I will say I'm disappointed with on the luxury package is the extended leather. It's like they give you leather here where it wouldn't be. They give you leather on the glove box, and then there's leather down here at the bottom of the doors. It's like, why down there? Why am I getting extended leather down here? There's not even contrast stitching, to really indicate that it is extended leather. I would way rather prefer get some leather on the dash, on the upper door, sills here. So I am a little disappointed in that. I will say though, the comfort seats are way more comfortable, in my opinion, than the regular Prestige seats. I could tell a difference right away when I was sitting in a luxury package Q7 opposed to just your standard Prestige. There's more adjustability on the seats, but it's a different type of leather. It's a nicer leather, and you can feel it. So it is expensive. I just wish they stepped up. Audi stepped up on their extended leather, and I think they kind of saved that back for the Audi exclusives, which is crazy expensive. I think to do an exclusive in here, it's 15 grand or something like that. But so that's kind of my take on all the packages. Now let's step outside. Okay guys, here she is. So see, the black Optic to me just gives this such a meaner look. I hope my lighting's okay right now. But you have all this in titanium, and so here's the first thing that I added was the black rings. That was the first order of business, and I did that with all the badges actually. So here's kind of a little side shot here, and then you could see the back badges here. I did the Q7, the back rear emblems, and then the 3.0T. So what else have I done? So you can obviously see the wheels here. These are 22s. What came on the car was the black Optic 21-inch wheels. So why I went with the 22s was because when I got it, they didn't have all-season tires, and those tires were going to be like $500 a piece. So I figured, hey, just keep my stocks in the garage, throw some 22s on there for the look, and then throw some all seasons on there. So added the 22s. They're 22 by 10.5. I believe it's a 25 offset all around. You can tell it's pretty aggressive, especially in the front. There's some little bolts right here. I actually had to hold the liner, just this top part. I actually had to take those out. I was getting a little rubbing. Once I took that out, pretty much eliminated it. Other thing I did was, these are orange. So I was going to get new reflectors here, get them painted white. However, the whole bumper's got to come off to have access to those. That's not like my S7. So I just had my guy wrap it in black. I think it actually looks pretty good. It goes with the whole Stormtrooper look that we got going. You can see the brake calipers here. They look awesome. My caliper guy didn't want to paint them white. And I'm like, I have everything is black and white. Let's just do it. And they came out smooth. It really ties in nicely. Here you can see it in the back. There's the back calipers there. Here's, you can kind of get a picture, a side shot of this here. Overall, it came out really nice. I also did window tint, added the crossbars because we have a Thule, did 20% just in the fronts to match the rears. And then the last thing that I did was the Nano Coating. I did a Nano Coating on my last car, on the S7. love it. And I did a nano coating here, and I got to be honest, guys, when you're cleaning your car and you're washing it and you have a nano coating, it really just changes the whole look of or not the look, but it changes the how you wash it. It doesn't scratch as much. It is expensive, but it scratches a lot less, and water just kind of beads off of it. So that's everything that I've done to the car, and it sits perfect. You can see with the air suspension, I don't know if I'm in dynamic mode, but it just sits freaking perfect. And I notice the ones that don't have the air, there's a lot more wheel gap there, and it rides fantastic, even with the 22s. So that's just a quick walk around. Let's move on to what I like and what I don't like. Okay, so for likes and don't likes, I guess I'll start with the looks department. I know this is completely subjective, right? Everybody preferences for what things look like, you know, change from person to person. So these are my thoughts. But the Q7, when it first came out, I was not really a fan. I think it was the smaller 20-inch wheels and the non-black optics. It just didn't do it for me. And I think the addition of the wheels and the black optic totally changed the look of this car. So on the looks compartment compared to that in the XC90, with how I've done it up here, I got to give it to the Q7. I really do. But stock for stock, when they first came out in 2017 for Audi and the 16 for XC90, out of the box, I felt the XC90 looked better. Just being honest with you. So that's kind of the looks department there. I will say, after owning both vehicles, this is just a more substantial car. Like when I'd wash the XC90, there was like some sensors here that would just pop out super easy. We had a lot of kind of like little things that felt like it was just cheaper for some reason. Put together nice, but it was a little cheaper, it felt. You know, just in driving it, and just kind of, I wash all my own cars, so I kind of observe these little trim pieces and stuff that pop off pretty easy. So that's kind of like on the exterior. On the interior, things, I mean, I just love the contrast here. You have this cedar brown interior with this Alcantara, which just looks unreal. Gosh, my lighting. Let me come on this other side to show you. Hopefully I can get some better lighting here. So, I don't know if you can see that Alcantara, but it just really makes the interior pop. The cedar is beautiful. And we went with the gray oak inlay, and it seems like, hey, that may not go with the cedar and the black, but it ties in. Me, the other inlay option that they have, not a fan of. It's like that brown looking one. So this definitely the way to configure it, in my opinion. So here's something I hate about the Q7. This is your storage, guys. This is it. There's nothing here. Honestly, they could have done a way better job with storage. This is a joke. And I'm not that picky, to be honest. You got your glove box, and you got that, and you have your door pockets. You have 2 cup holders, and you have this thing. But it's like, come on. You could put a bigger center console than that. There's not batteries or anything running through this tunnel here. So that's kind of like my main gripe, I would say, on the interior piece is the storage right here. But the interior, just comparing it to the XC90, I mean, it's beautiful. Like the virtual cockpit is just unbelievable with the Google Earth. This screen, people hate on this screen all the time. It's really, see how this dash drops down? It's out of your way when you're driving. People say, oh, I would never buy a car with that. I don't get that personally, but, and then if you don't like it, you can just retract the screen. It's not a big deal. So the only thing, I don't have a place to magnetize my phone in my car. In my S7, I have this little notch right here, and the magnet fits on that piece of plastic perfectly. So here's another gripe. Here's my main other gripe with Audi is their whole Audi Connect services. It's kind of a joke. Like, nobody uses that stuff. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't. But you have to continue those services to get the Google Earth. And it's like, it's a scam, dude. You have to pay like, you know, $20 a month and pay for it. Like, we all have Wi-Fi hotspot. So I don't know. I'm really not a fan of that. You have to pay this Audi Connect services. So how I understand it is you have 6 months free with the Google Earth and unlimited Wi-Fi. After that, you have a certain amount of gigs to use for your Google Earth. And after those, let's call it 4 gigs, I don't know what the number is, then you're done and you have to get the Audi Connect services. So I really don't like how Audi does that. It's just like another moneymaker to them. But I get it. You know, they're a company. They just had the whole diesel conspiracy deal, not conspiracy, but the diesel gate or whatever people call it. But I really am not a fan of that. But overall driving experience is fantastic. And I'll talk about the driving experience versus the XC90 when we go on a ride. The only other thing I will say is this car, I gotta be honest here. These seats are really, really comfortable and they're close to the Volvo Inscription seats. But I gotta be honest, those are better seats. The ones we had didn't have the massage function, but those seats were badass. They were so comfortable, really, really soft leather, and I have to give Volvo the edge on the seat department. Moving in the back, it's I mean, really soft touch materials everywhere. Here's that like extended leather that I was talking about. It's like, I don't need extended leather down here. Throw it up on the dash here. Not on the dash, but on the panel here. Nobody even sees that. But overall, really nice in here. This comes down. So I can put that down, I can put this one down, or that one, or all of them. So really, really nice there. Good look. It's nice and roomy in here. All of these have these things. There's one in the back. Here's a look at the back. It feels a little smaller. You can kind of see the Alcantara suede goes all, or it's fake suede, but it goes all the way through here. A little smaller space. This seems to come down farther than the Volvo did, to be honest with you. So there is a little less space there. But overall, for what we do, these third seats never even really come up, except every once in a while. And then when we go to Mammoth, we go to the mountains, we pack everything up here and then throw the Thule up top. I will show you, this is kind of cool. When you, over here, the seats for the third row are electronic. The Volvo, they were not. You had to do it manually. And then this is kind of cool too, to hit this air suspension button. And so for that to work, you have to have all the doors closed. But, you know, if you're getting stuff out, you want to load it and lower the car down, you just hit this button here and it will drop the ass. And a lot of times, I know it's probably super lame, but we'll park and I do that. If we're getting something out of the back, I don't like open the back and do that, but it does make it look like it's like super dumped. And that's what I love, the air suspension. I mean, that's kind of the look right there. So that's overall the differences between this and the XC90 besides the driving part. But I really, you'll hear, but I have to give the driving experience hands down to the Audi over the Volvo. So when we go on a quick drive, we'll kind of cover that. And guys, let's go on a drive and see how this thing does on the road. So through OBD11, I added the needle sweep, not stock. You know, with, it's a little app, little OBD port thing. You can make some adjustments to the car. I have to say what Audi has done with the new tech is unbelievable. I mean, I remember back in 2000, I don't know, my sister's SQ5 was like a 2014, I want to say, and they didn't even have USB ports. It's a joke. So with this virtual cockpit, they've nailed it. Like my car is a 2016 S7. It doesn't have virtual cockpit. I do have the map in between the gauges, but other than that, I don't have the whole virtual cockpit. The resolution on this camera over here, and when you go to back up, is unbelievable. So overall, I think they've nailed it. The steering wheel integration, way better than my car. So you have your track seek here, volume knob, calls, nav button, heated wheel. You have your view button. You can go to small gauges if you like. And then you also have, you know, other options here for map. And then over here, you have more options for colors and things of that nature. So I will say that this car there is a learning curve with all this tech. There's all these sub menus, and see this little thing right here. It's like a little button that indicates that you need to hit this on the pad, and there's more options there. So I will say, if you're an older person and tech is not your forte, this may be a steep learning curve for you, but it is very intuitive. The other thing that I love, that they have a drive select button here. So once I click this button, it's going to bring up this screen, right? And then I can change whatever. So right now it's lifting it up. I don't even have to hit, you know, a menu button or an execute button. I just hit this, and there's lift with this air suspension, lift, all road, comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. I like individual because I don't have it in full dynamic mode across the board, but I like to tighten up the steering, and I like to have it at its lowest setting. So, but overall, car tech wise, I will compare it against the XC90. It's better. It's way better. I don't get any freezes or anything like I did with the XC90 on the Sensus system. It just works how it's supposed to work. And this interior LED lighting, it's going to be hard to see because it's daylight, but it just looks so good at nighttime. And overall, the fit and finish of this car versus the XC90 definitely wins. So let's take it on the road, put my thing on here, and see how she drives. So comparing this to other SUVs we had, I'm just gonna go with versus the resolution here on that backup camera is awesome. It really is very, very good. Better than the older generation Audis like mine, and other screens that I've seen. So overall, I was a little worried getting this 2018 because it seems like Audi's going to be phasing out this supercharged motor. So it's a supercharged V6. This car has been in the A7, the A6, the S4, a little different variant, but overall same motor. For a long time, it's kind of long in the tooth. But I will say that I know why they put it in here and they didn't put in the single turbo 6-cylinder. The power is so linear with this car, and that was another main gripe I had with the XC90, to be quite honest with you, was it had the supercharged and turbocharged 4-cylinder, and like it actually performed pretty well. It really did, but the engine was loud. It was just like, it was that 4-cylinder loud engine that I didn't really like that. And the power, you were just on boost at all time. And I feel like this 6-cylinder supercharged, it just has power. It's not the fastest thing in the world, especially driving a tuned S7, you know, as your daily, but it does exactly what you need it to do. And I know when you upgrade to not upgrade, but when you get the supercharged V6, you have a higher towing capacity than the 2.0. I will say I got a loaner the other day, a Q5, when I took my car in for service, and it had the 2.0 T, and I was really surprised by it. So that could be an option for people, is to get a Premium Plus and get it with the 2.0 T. The motor felt pretty dang peppy, so I was actually really surprised by it. But overall, this this motor's awesome, and I know why they kept it in the big car like the Q7. Another thing I will say is the heads-up display versus the XC90 kills it. Like, it's crisp, it's clean, it's high resolution, the sign recognition is on point. It just looks very, very nice. So when you floor this car, you know, you got some giddy up and go. I mean, it definitely is not a slug, and it's got plenty of power, that's for sure. So also comparing like the fit in the finish part versus the XC90, like the ride on this car, even with 22s, it's like you're riding on pillows. I'm not even kidding. It's the best riding car that I've ever been in. Very, very few rattles. The only rattles I'll get is from these big honking seat belts that will clap against the plastic right there. Like, you just heard it right there. That's just the seat belt. Other than that, there's zero rattles. And the XC90 did start developing some rattles. And I will say, with the XC90, that had air suspension too, and I loved the air, but all of a sudden the air suspension got super loud. I had to take the car in and get all four corners replaced. And then when they fixed it, they didn't even really fix it that well. So overall, this is hands down a better car, in my opinion, than the XC90. The XC90 looks good. It's probably a better value. It's cheaper. I mean, when you configure the car, this car, the way it was, or the way it sits right now, it's $82,000 plus delivery. So it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. This is an expensive car, and you could get a T6 for 60 something, and plus they're giving those things away. So the value's there on the XC90 for sure, but this, in my opinion, is in a different class with the fit and finish and the refinement of this car. Wow, we got some brutal sun here. There we go. So, and then I guess the last thing that, you know, I want to touch base on with the driving experience with this car is, surprisingly, this car handles very, very well. In corners, it feels very confident. When you're in the dynamic and the lowered setting, it feels very tight for an SUV. The thing feels great. You know, there's very minimal body roll. Yeah, when you get on this thing, it goes. It definitely like has power, and what I like about it is very linear, right? So you have power the whole way through, all the way to redline. So we're really happy with the decision. We got lucky on selling the XC90, did decent on that car, ordered this one up, and the timing and everything was perfect. This car isn't perfect. It definitely isn't. There's a couple issues. The storage issue, I still don't like this Audi Connect part, but really, when you look at the marketplace, when you look at what's out there and how much you're gonna spend on a luxury SUV, I don't know one that's better than this. We drove a Range Rover Sport, which was cool, but it was expensive. The supercharged V8 is badass. Don't get me wrong. Loved it. My wife was smiling, flooring that thing around town, but the back seats are hard. There's really no third row option. There is, but it's like $2,500 if I remember correctly, and it's a joke. You can't even fit anybody back there. And it's just, I don't know, for what's out there, you know, with Mercedes, with BMW, the X5 is long in the tooth. That thing's about to be replaced. This car really nails it. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's pretty dang close. I've never been in a perfect car, but this is really, really close. So what I can do is, you guys chime in on the comments and tell me, hey, well, what do you think about this, or what about that package? And I'll do my best to get back to everybody on the comments. And then if there's enough want or need for a direct comparison with the XC90, I can really break it down and kind of get more into the weeds, if you will, on every aspect. I just try to touch on, some major points. Obviously I don't have that car anymore, but I can go off of what I know and my experience of owning that car for, that's almost 2 years. So this is a drive. Again, it's not like the, my car, my S7, where I've got the pops and bangs with the exhaust and dumping on it. But I will say this motor's great. It's a perfect fit for this car. We've already been up to Mammoth, which is, 350 miles away. It's been in snow. We've been up there twice. It's been in snow twice. And that's the thing. It's Quattro. The thing just did exactly how I would, hope that it would. I will say the XC90 performed great in snow too. I mean, the Swedes, this is, they build cars to drive in snow as well. So I had no complaints on the XC90 when it came to snow, because we did that as well. So overall, though, the fit and finish, the interior materials are just first class. I wish they would have, I had an option to get some leather. Okay, guys, I covered a lot. I'm sure I missed a lot that I'll think about later. Actually, I just remembered one extra thing. What's cool about the 2018, let's go over those real quick. And I only know it on the Prestige model packages. Soft closed doors were added to the Prestige, which is cool. You had to get the luxury before to get the soft closed doors. So that was added for 2018 versus 2017. The other thing that I know about was on the black optics. On that package, it went from 1500 to 1700, I want to say, but you got the black tailpipes, where before they were chrome, everything else was titanium or black, and those kind of stood out. So they added that as well. I know there were some changes with the premium and the premium plus, or maybe they don't even have a premium anymore, but I just know of those two main things. And I want to say that the luxury package went down in price. I know they price adjust, so I don't really know pricing wise, but those were two main things that were cool that they added for 2018. So again, I know I was probably long-winded on some sections and didn't cover some others. This video would be an hour long if I went into the motor specs and I took you through the MMI and all that stuff, but I can expand on it if need be. If you have specific questions, put them in the comments, and I will make sure to get back at you as soon as possible. I got a day job and stuff, so maybe I'm not as quick as most, but I definitely will get back to you. So thanks for watching, and see you next video.